All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Whatever's Biting podcast. It's episode 18 coming at you end of July here. It's been really hot. I'm John from Creek Fishing Adventures, also joined with Ethan over here.
Hey, Ethan, Fish Anything here. Ready to talk about fish.
Yeah. Ethan, I was looking through your videos. They're lacking a little bit. I know.
Hey,
I give
you
you a
know
hard time.
what? I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't know. It is what it is. I am trying to keep up with everything, but I'm not,
Yeah.
and life goes on. I did get an email the other day from a guy, Jeff in Iowa, and he's like, hey, the people are missing you. I'm like, yeah, I appreciate it. It means a lot that people are looking for my videos. And yeah, there's been a lack thereof, but part of that is the fact that I'm really slow at editing. And part of that is the fact that I just haven't been fishing as much, but I've got a few in the works right now. So, I'm not gone by any means.
Yeah, it's hard to get back to normal and from moving. Even if it was like been several months now, it's like it's weird to get everything. I messed around yesterday in my garage for 4 hours building little rod holders, and about every 30 minutes I'd have to take a break because I was sweating like crazy. It was just like,
Yeah.
and then this heat really makes me not. I want to fish, but it's like I just don't want to go out there
Yeah.
and
And
fish stuff.
I
Even
think, I think part of it for me too, though, is like, I've got two young children, and the older they get, the more I want to do things with them, and so it's like, this isn't my source of income. So
yeah,
I try to fish as much as I can, but at the same time, I'm not going to prioritize fishing over spending
right,
time with my children, and I'm not going to make videos with my kids in them. So I mean, it's like I can sit here and apologize, but I don't think that's necessarily. I don't think I really owe an apology because I think I am prioritizing the right things.
yeah.
But it does. I know that it stinks because I do want to be able to make as much videos and like keep this thing going, but there's just only so much time in a day, and you just have to prioritize things according to how you see fit. For me,
Oh yeah, it's good to
hasn't
explain that. I mean, a lot
top
of times
priority,
people just they don't really understand, and I know. I was just messing around. I was like, man, Ethan, yeah, he has been a little behind this year, but things
Yeah.
coming. You'll probably hit a stretch where you get out, 3 or 4 videos or something like that, and
Yeah, we've got a trip coming up, and maybe I can talk about that actually because it'll be between now and our next podcast.
oh, okay,
And so we'll be up north in Michigan, and I'll be off work all week. And I don't think I'll have room for a kayak just because, as you know, John, like when you put a pedal drive kayak, like the kayak on top of a car or in the back of your truck or whatever is one thing, but you also need the pedals, the
yeah,
paddle, the life jacket, the crate. And I don't know if I'll be able to fit all that stuff in my car along with, all the various things that we need for our kids and all that. If I can fit my kayak, I'll bring it. If not, it's going to be the paddleboard because that's a little bit more portable. But even so, I'll be up north and I'm going to get a lot of fishing in. So to your point, yeah, we're going to pump out some content at that time. I'm very excited, but yeah, I've got some
well,
other stuff in the works. The last video that I'm working on that'll post actually in the next day or two, by the time this is out, you'll see it, is like 20 minutes. And that just took me so dang long to edit.
yeah.
So, life goes on.
So I got a big trip coming up. I'm going to be going up to the Susquehanna again.
Nice.
My
Very
third
cool.
year in a row. This one's a little earlier in the summer, so this is in it'll be in 2 weeks from now. So like a second weekend of August. So that'll be cool. I'm gonna be excited to recap. That trip and then your trip too when we come back next. But let's talk about what's happened
Yes, sir.
within the last month. So I got to go on the podcast, Dark Horse Tackle, and Ethan can talk about this too. But I'm showing it in the video here if you're watching on YouTube. But this really cool. They have a river kit that they started doing every year, and it's all like river lures. And Ryan Parker, and I fished with him in some of the tournaments, and he picked out a lot of the lures, but they put the bluegrass bug in there. So it was really cool to they had me come talk about it, and dude, I felt like it was like 3 dudes, and they're like bass, like really good bass fishermen, and they're asking me things. I'm like, dude, I'm talking to the wrong guy. But they picked the black one, which I mean you can't go wrong. That's probably
I think
that's
I think
everybody's favorite
actually
color. But
I think there's a chance that you could get black rodeo clown, green
Oh, okay.
pumpkin, or ranch hand. I think they got 4 different colors. So
Oh, okay.
various boxes you might get a different color, but yeah, they pick the best sellers.
Yeah, and they also, I think they have some for like they sell stuff too
Oh, okay.
off their website.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's what they were telling me too. So you can, I think they got 4 colors. They said something about getting 4 colors. So I don't remember if they're all in the boxes or they have them for
Oh,
sale
I
also.
guess I don't know. They didn't,
Yeah.
they didn't tell me, but you know, you probably know better than I. But even so, I really appreciate them doing that. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool to see that, and of course, they know you and mule fishing stuff, and so if anybody out there, got that gets that subscription, so I don't subscribe to any subscription things because I literally get so many lures, like it would be a waste for me. But I love the subscription boxes. I think it's awesome to get. It's something that if I was a teenager or young or like even before I was fishing really hard, I would have loved to have a subscription box come in with some
Yeah.
different lures and hand selected by people. So that's a really cool thing to do. There's several people out there that offer different boxes. So it is cool to have something in there that could go to somebody. That lure could go to somebody that has no idea who me or you is. And come
Chances
across
are
a good
most
lure.
people don't know who I am, but everybody knows John Dalton. Everybody knows Creek Fishing Adventures.
They're not gonna be following after. They were asking me how do I rig the lure, and I'm like, dude, I have like one way to do it. Like, and they were like talking about like 6 or 7 different ways to do this. I'm like, yeah, y'all are doing more than I'm doing. But no, that was
Yeah.
really cool to kind of little acknowledgement, and also get have them selected and realize that does catch. And Ryan caught some really good fish on it. And when he go, it was the Upper Mississippi. He took it up there for the Kayak Adventure Series. I didn't go to that one, but the I'll see him at the one. I'm planning to use that lure in Pennsylvania when I go. Um,
Nice.
and on the Susquehanna, I really want. I got some ideas how to maybe try some stuff. I really think about just like putting it under a bobber like a foot deep and just kind of drifting it.
Hmm.
I don't know. We'll see.
In
We'll
the
see.
real
We'll see what
shallows.
happens.
I could see that working in like real shallows if the fish were up. Just kind of looks like something that just kind of hatched or whatever. But yeah, dude, I'm really happy with the bait. It's been something that people have definitely received well. It seems like a lot of people are having a lot of success on it. So it's cool that it's getting out there into new anglers' hands. To your point, I don't do boxes either, but I think that's just because me and you we have so much gear already. But I do think that those are cool for people that are trying to build up kind of a stock of fishing lures. They don't really know what they like yet, so they're trying to experiment with new things. So very excited to hear how people enjoy it after getting their hands on one, having never used it before. I do want to see. We need to do a challenge one of these days where we both use either the wildflower or the creek watercolor, because those are the slower moving colors. And
Mhm.
I want to get out there and intentionally fish with kind of our crazy colors, because those two are kind of the crazy ones, right? So maybe we need to go head to head and do a little
Okay.
wildflower off, see who catches the better fish on the bright
Well,
pink.
you're going to be going upper Minnesota, probably
Or
catches some giant
Michigan.
rock, or Michigan, catches
Yeah.
some giant rock bass and smallies probably.
Yeah.
So,
I'm probably going to throw a lot of drop shot, micro drop shots and stuff, and probably just catch like a billion rock bass. But you know what, man, that sounds pretty good to me. I'm quite excited about it. And I am actually excited too, because it's not that type of fishing will be really great for my 4-year-old to get some exposure
yeah.
to proper lure fishing too. So again, I'm not going to put him on video. It's just not my style, but I am very excited to get him up there. Just go out on the break line and just drop this down. And when when it feels like something hits it,
Yeah.
set the hook. So it's going to be a good opportunity for him to grow as an angler, we'll say.
I'm gonna have to try it up there. Try to catch me a muskie or something on it. That's what I need to try to do. But
I
yeah,
hope so.
I've caught fish on all colors. But yeah, I don't know. I need to. I used it a bunch, and I've kind of backed off because I was using it so much. And it's like time to start, pulling it out again. I need to go to new places to try it. But
Yeah.
so real quick story I got from a snake encounter, and
Oh
I
boy.
get questions all the time about snakes. People are like, do you run into snakes? Do you see snakes? Have you ever been bit by a snake? I was like, never been bit by them. I see them. I see one snake a trip, probably 1 or 2 snakes at the most.
Hmm.
They're not just everywhere, and most of the time they're running away.
Wait, they're
Well,
running?
yeah, well, they're slithering. What do they do?
They're slithering away. Come on, they
Snaking
don't have
away.
feet. What kind of snakes are you seeing down there in Tennessee?
Yeah. So they're usually like you'll see them or hear them like fall in the bushes or fall and just they just go away or run into jump in the water, or if you're floating, maybe they'll go in front of you. Most time they don't, they try to hide from you. So in my, I think it's my last video, I think I already posted it because I spent a while editing it. I'm at the end of the day. I'm walking back up to the creek to get to my truck, and there's a limb coming out that's probably right at my head height.
Hmm.
And I'm walking up this creek. It's this really small creek, and I looked back on camera, and on camera there's a snake laying on the limb.
You didn't notice it.
And I never saw it. It was brown. It was dark in there anyways. It was brown, laying like perfectly on a small limb, like that was like a 2 inches around or something like that.
And it was like right over your head.
It was straight over my head. I stepped, and I leaned down. So I'm leaning down to go under this tree because that's how low it was. And right when I got underneath it, I hear something fall in the water, and it was directly in front of me. I saw the snake hit the water directly in front of me. I never jumped back so fast because it was like right in my lap. Like it could have fell on me if it wanted to.
Yeah, see, like I like reptiles too. Like I think they're cool, but I don't want like a snake falling on me when I don't know it's coming. Like like if I see a snake up close, doesn't bother me at all. If it slithers up to me, life goes on. But if one falls on top of me, I'm freaking out, dude.
That was one of the closest. Like I've almost stepped on. I think I did step on one time in the creek, but like I've like been stepping and like seen them and jumped over them. But that was probably the closest I got to one that I never knew was there. It was and then but looking back on the camera, like on my GoPro, you see it like probably 5 steps and until I bend down to go under the tree, and you just see it laying there. And I got like a slow-mo of it. So that was it was quite exciting for that. So that's my exciting story of the week while I was fishing.
That's awesome. I don't really have very many snakes up here in Michigan. I never hardly when I haven't been to the other side of the state, so the east side of the state in a long time. But when I used to go over there because I had family out that way, they're not that way anymore. They moved. But when I did, we'd go over there and I would see snakes at like a certain river, like quite a bit. But I never see them over here. I don't know. It's like, I'm sure they're around, but I don't have to encounter them. And I also don't do, we don't have like the good creek fishing here, unfortunately. If we did, I would definitely be into that. So they're probably in some of the creeks and stuff, but there's just not the abundance of snakes in the northern part of the states, I feel like. So, I don't know. I guess I'm not jealous. They're cool, but I don't need to be like having close calls with snakes on a regular basis.
Where's their cutoff going north? Are they?
They live here. They're just not near as many. I feel like you just have way bigger populations.
Like, are there snakes in Canada?
I would think so. Probably not in like the most northern parts. I'm not a snake expert here, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say there's water snakes and stuff in Canada. But probably as you get like into the way northern part where all of a sudden it's like, there's snow on the ground, 60% of the year, whatever. It's like, they're not going to be snakes there.
They can't. I wonder how long they can hibernate. There has to be a length of time because they hibernate during the winter.
We'll have a snake expert, a herpetologist. Is that what it is? Herpetology. We'll have them on our podcast next time. We're going to go a different route with whatever's biting. We're going into the snake world.
You ever watch Forrest Galante or Galante, whatever his name is?
Don't know that one.
He's like a super famous, like I don't know, outdoorsman. He's always trying to find like these cryptids if they're real, or like certain animals that we think have gone extinct. He's like proven that some of them haven't gone extinct.
Interesting.
He goes and searches out for them.
Dodo birds?
Dodo
birds?
Yeah. And but he's pretty like he's got a big channel and he talks, but he does one I was watching recently, and he goes like aquariums and he's like holding snakes, swimming with snakes, picking up turtles.
Nice.
Cole and Jay is the channel I watch. They both can just grab a snake, pick it up like it's nothing. But
Yeah, not for
yeah.
me. I mean, I don't need to like hold a snake. I'm good.
Yeah.
Like I can just look at it. That's good with me.
I don't know why some people love holding snakes, but I don't know. But yeah, we'll get off snake talk. Some people don't like talking about snakes.
Probably, yeah. We probably lost half the. Okay,
Yeah,
let's bring it back to fish. All right.
get back on them.
Yeah, back to the other scales. Yeah.
I've had some pretty good topwater fishing. I think
Me
topwater was
too.
one of the things I was wanting to challenge myself to do, and I've been able to catch them on a buzzbait, a little plopper, and then there's something else I used.
Yeah, dude. I got show and tell if we're gonna talk topwater.
Okay.
This is.
Yeah.
Hey, is that okay?
Yeah, and I
didn't prepare
ordered,
you for this.
I just ordered like 7 more buzzbaits, so I've been like loading up on buzzbaits, like all kinds of brands.
Nice. Yeah, I use the little Booyah micro buzzbait on the BFS. I caught a couple of fish on that, but I tried it again in yesterday's trip, and man, I just couldn't get them to bite. So that's going to be a video though. You'll see video on that. But the one that I have another video coming out on sooner is this little Strike King, like bitsy popper.
Yeah,
dude, this thing's sweet. It pops so good, and I put this to use with the BFS. So much fun. Now I wasn't catching big fish, but I was out there on my paddleboard. And to your point, to on the last episode, I said I'm gonna get out on my paddleboard. I've been out on my paddleboard like three, 4, 5 times, and this was one of the trips. And I just threw this all evening. It has such a nice little pop sound to it. It's super easy to make it pop. And I'm not a big popper guy, but the micro popper, I enjoyed it, dude. It was fun.
Have you used the Karashi? And do you know what that is?
No. Which one's that?
I should have brought that. That should have been that was one of my first ones this year. I've gotten like bites on. They're like $20. It's basically a little topwater jerk bait, and they're real small. They're it's not Shimano, Megabass. I think Megabass makes it. And somebody told me to get some, and they make like sinking ones, they make floating ones, and there's like a few different ones. They're real small, slim. And dude, I threw it on the BFS, and I went to this new section of a creek that I never fished, and they were exploding on it. It was like a real minnow where they just like are busted at minnows.
Wow.
It was dude, and I caught like a 16-inch spotted bass on one. That's the biggest fish I got on it. That thing was awesome. But I had like 10, 12-inch bass just like hammering it, and it's like real subtle. There's no noise to it.
So is it just a kind of like a floating jerkbait then?
Yeah, basically.
Here's that buzzbait. This is the Booyah buzzbait. That little 1/8 ounce, great for BFS. But but the dude, that makes me think of when I was in high school. I had like a cheap Cabela's floating jerkbait, and I had my little like ugly stick pond set up, and that was when I was like first getting into it, and it was this chrome color with some yellow on it jerkbait, and it was just a cheap Cabela's like knockoff floating jerkbait. And I would catch so many bass on that. It was so fun because you could fish it like a topwater. You could get it down there a little bit, and if you were fishing clear ponds, you could see them eat it. Yeah. So yeah, that makes me if the Megabass one is just like a much nicer, obviously for $20, a much nicer version of that, I feel like that would be a blast. So I need to look into that.
Yeah, I think it's something it's right up your alley. And I love how like you got popping lures, you got clanking lures, and then like something that's just quiet and I'm just like twitching it, and they're just coming glued on it because they see it too.
Yeah,
and it's just more. I feel like it's just something super easy for them to eat, and it's just something they eat. A little minnow. Oh, a little minnow fall in. That's wounded. Boom! I'm just hammering that.
I'm gonna look that thing up as we speak because now I'm so curious. But yeah,
well, I'll go into this is what we like to do on this channel is talk about what we're catching, what we've been catching, like recent. So it's been hot as blazes out, like ridiculously hot down here. Like I hardly don't want to go out. I've gone out and waded a few times, and I'm like exhausted just from even walking through the water. But the last fish I caught was the day I saw the snake, and it was on a BFS setup, the Cast King Kestrel Air 10-pound braid, the 6'4" medium light Kestrel rod, and I was throwing a buzzbait earlier that day. So I caught some really good fish on a buzzbait. They weren't like, they were just like slurping it under there. It was more of a quiet eat.
So what buzzbait were you using on? Like, what buzzbait have you liked? I can't remember what you said you like for the BFS.
I am terrible about buying like a bunch of brands, and I don't
Okay.
know what I use. But I have one. There's one that it's called Georgia Boy Outdoors.
Okay.
They make it. He lives down in South Georgia.
And it's just like a 1/4 ounce or an 1/8 of an ounce.
It was 1/8 of an ounce, I believe.
Sweet. Okay. We can look it up later. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut
And
you off
then
there.
I have a couple that are 1/4 ounce that I don't remember where I got. I bought some at a. Also bought some at a just like a fishing show. They were just like, they had just a bunch, and I don't remember what brand they were.
1/4 ounce almost feels too big for BFS sometimes, don't you think?
Yeah, quarter. I mean, quarter, like a 1/4 ounce spinnerbait is like too big.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the right. I'm still trying to find the right spinnerbait. I feel like I haven't found that perfect one. Now
Yeah.
the Booyah Pond Magic with the one blade is good.
Those are fun.
I don't like the ones with the 2 willow blades, but if you get the one Colorado blade,
You mean this?
Yeah, that one.
I have it right here. I got this one for my son to play around with.
I think I picked up some Strike King ones too, but there's a couple like that, and those I've really liked those.
Yeah.
On the BFS, they do well and catch good fish. What was I saying?
You were saying about your last fish you caught before I cut you off and asked you what buzzbait you were throwing.
I'm looking at them. They actually was in this Dark Horse. Yeah, this one right here. I ordered some more of these. The Brazalo. It's a small buzzbait.
Oh,
I haven't
cool.
used these yet. I just got them. They come without a skirt, so I'm holding up a buzzbait with just a hook. It's a decent size hook, but it's not a giant. But it's a small blade. It's called the I think. What's it called? Weed Whacker. I believe that's what this one's called. And I've got a few ideas how to use it. And they're real beefy looking, though. It's like, this one looks kind of strong. I'm going to take this to Susquehanna. I'm trying to figure out a BFS / like a medium light setup to throw that on. Now, I can throw it on a BFS, but I feel like I almost need a little bit heavier rod.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just been fun whenever I catch them on a buzzbait. Anyway, so at that creek, I was throwing a buzzbait, and I would see a fish, and then I would throw the buzzbait, and a different fish would come hit it. It was so funny. Like, some fish would hit it, some fish wouldn't. But I caught it like I caught one that was like 16, 17 inches on it. I went down the creek, then I came back up with a yum dinger, weightless, and I threw it on the BFS. And that's such a good setup. It just feels good on that.
Yeah.
And I was throwing straight braid in clear water, and I was still catching fish on the way back up. The last one I caught was about a 16-inch largemouth right before I got out of the creek on the BFS setup on the bubblegum lemon swirl 4-inch yum dinger.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds like a good time. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good trip.
I went out yesterday, like I've been telling you. And, yesterday for me, I took out the paddleboard and I brought my BFS set up thinking, okay, let's keep trying with this buzzbait because I had caught a couple fish on it recently. I want to keep trying it. And I just couldn't they just wouldn't eat topwater, which was so surprising to me because we've been getting a lot of rain lately. We even got rain during the trip yesterday. Like, I got rained on. And I'm thinking, okay, like post rain during the summer, still overcast. It should be game on all day, topwater. Couldn't buy a bite. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to keep using that one. But I did catch fish. And actually, I would say the highlight of my trip is it's kind of silly, but I have never caught this species in Michigan. I've caught them before, actually last year.
Can I guess it?
Yeah.
We never caught this species. Is it big or small? Like a sunfish?
It's small, but not. It's small for the family of fish it's in.
Oh,
come on, that should be
pickerel.
What?
Pickerel?
No, not pickerel. Bullhead.
Oh, okay.
I never catch bullhead, dude.
Yeah.
I've never caught one in Michigan, which it's silly because Michigan should have. I think they have a lot of them, but I've just never caught one, and it just randomly ate. And I was like, okay, it didn't fight like at all too, which kind of makes it lame, but it was really cool because I'm just like, I didn't actually even know there was any in that lake because I've fished that lake a lot, never caught one. But I never really go for catfish and I never use live bait. So I suppose it makes sense.
You think the rain like pushed
maybe,
them up?
Maybe they could be,
eating a little different.
Yeah, it could be that. That's probably a good theory as any. But yeah, he ate a donkey tail junior. I was just
Oh,
dead drifting it, and all of a sudden I'm like, I thought I was snagged, and it started pulling. I'm like, all right, this will be something weird. Sure enough, it was actually. I mean, I thought that was a pretty good bullhead. Actually, I mean, they don't get that
that was
big.
a big
So
one. Yeah.
yeah, so that kind of brightened my day, I suppose. And then I caught some, a couple other species along the way: perch, bluegill, crappie. And had a good time with the ultralight, but I couldn't buy a bite on my BFS. Um, Sadly. But over the last month, I've really been trying to break out the BFS rod again because, man, it is a lot of fun. Like ever since you've been talking about the topwater with it, I'm like, yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like you can throw small lures like easy, but those lures catch all size fish. And that's the thing is, and you're just going to get more bites. But I was talking with it when I was on the Dark Horse podcast, and I kept bringing it back to like multi-species fishing and like ultralight, and like none of those guys do any of that. So but they were like, it's good. It was like they were like, you know what? I'm glad to hear someone talk. It's just not just like a bass fisherman and only bass fisherman, and just talking about little tweaks. So it was cool to like me to go on like a hardcore bass fishing podcast and just talk. And when they would ask me about bass stuff, I'm like, dude, I can catch them, but I'm not an expert out here trying to tweak little things. But you want to talk multi-species, and that's what I feel like. Me and you are kind of the same, where it's like we fish for so many different types of fish. That's where like my tackle like amount is just crazy because I have so many different species I go for. My rod and reel arsenal, I'm trying to organize them, and I'm like, I got BFS now. That's a whole nother set, another one. All my ultralight, then my bass fishing stuff, then I got some like cat fishing stuff, and then like heavier things. I'm like, I'm about to go cut out a lot of stuff, but it's
Yeah.
I don't know. Every once in a while, it's like you just talk to people and you're like, that don't do multi species, or they haven't done it in a long time.
Yeah.
And I feel like I converted them back over to it. I'm like, you just gotta go get an ultralight rod and just do it every once in a while. Just do it every once in a while just to do it.
Yeah, that's one thing. I kind of starting off at the beginning of this episode, you joked around about less content and stuff. But to be honest, over this month, I've went fishing with two friends that they're actually friends from like a church group, and it's just like a men's group thing that I do. And one of them, he probably last time he fished would have been like with his grandpa as a kid, and he has fond memories of it. But so I have purposely have not brought the cameras because I wanted to spend quality time with friends and kind of get them exposed. But I'll tell you, you've got a lot of gear. I gave him a rod after the trip, and then I've got another friend that I took out, and I've got a rod that I'm getting ready to give to him too. And that's quite rewarding. Like, fortunately, when we make these videos, we can acquire a lot of gear, right? As we were kind of talking about. And it's like, it's probably more than we need, but it also represents an opportunity to share. And man, that was rewarding. And what was cool about it is the friend that I took out. So I rigged my kayak to the roof of my car, and I brought my paddleboard in my car, and I met him at a lake, and I let him use my kayak, and I use my paddleboard. So there's no video from this because I wanted to focus on the relationship, the friendship. He caught a bunch of bass, dude, all on the jackworm, and on like an ultralight rod. And then, within the week, he bought like a lifetime kayak, like one of like the $200 kayaks. And he sends me a picture later. He caught like a 3.5, 4 pound bass on the rod I gave him.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, all right, like that,
Yeah.
that is so awesome. So anyways, I wasn't planning to share that, but I thought, you've got excess gear. If you've got friends that you have an opportunity to kind of share the love with, do it, because it's quite rewarding to see.
Well, I actually gave a not to one up you, but
hey, no, we're gonna cut this off right now.
This morning, I gave a ride away to one of my kids from Children's Church.
Nice.
I've been telling him for like 3 weeks because they know I do Children's Church, so I talk a lot about fishing, and I make up stories and stuff for entertainment. That we call them popcorn games, but like, or I'll tell them, like, especially when I go on trips, I come back and I'll show pictures and videos. So he's been asking for like 3 weeks for a rod because I gave his brother one like a few months ago, and I was like, and I was cleaning out yesterday. I was like, oh, I'm setting this aside for him, and that's it's like super cheap, like push button Zebco, but I was like, I need to make sure I get it to him because he's been asking me.
That's
And
awesome.
that's where I've almost like the amount of rod and reels I've given away. Like I have nothing cheap left almost. Now I'm giving away
I
like
know.
$100 rods, and I
I
feel
know.
bad because I'm like, dude, you won't appreciate this $100 rod.
Well, I know the rod that I gave away was a Temple Fork trout and panfish. I'm like, dude, I kind of like I use this every now and again,
Yeah,
but I have my pastime or whatever. And it's
yeah,
like I use that one most of the time. So I'm like, all right, like it is more often than not, it's sitting and collecting dust.
yeah,
So that tells me I probably can give it away.
yeah. It's
If
really
it's
nice,
one
but
where
it's
I'm like
like,
bringing it within every 5 trips, then it probably can stay. But if it's like never getting used, yeah, is what it
well, it's
is.
so good that he got some really good rewards out of it. Like that's even better. Like when you give away something nice, and then they're like all in on it. You're like, okay, that was worth
Yeah,
it. I feel a little better.
yeah. That just means it opens up a slot for me to try another rod in the future too, which you guys know I like to do. So
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, I have a bunch of stuff. I'm like, I want to try to sell some. Like, and when I say sell, I'm probably going to be like half off or less, probably. Like, just
yeah,
get rid of it, just to get a little bit of cash back, and I'll probably just go buy something else.
yeah. Oh, don't get me
Um,
wrong. Yeah, I've sold stuff too. It's not like I give away everything. Yeah, at a certain point, you need to recoup some of the funds. I, I you know, I don't. I like it. I love it when I get free stuff on this, but it's not why I do it. But when I do, it's always nice.
yeah,
But almost all of my rods and reels have been purchased. Every now and again, someone will give me a rod, and that's awesome. But I'm not expecting it, and so chances are to replace those rods, I'm gonna have to go buy them. But that's okay. That's why we do this.
yeah. It's fun. I have a problem just buying random lures, even though I get like sponsored by some companies that have all kinds of stuff. But if I see something new, I'm like, you know what? I'm getting that. I'm gonna try it. I'll get 2-3 packs of it. Or if I go to like a fishing thing just to support like these small fishing, companies or
Yeah,
whatever, I'm like, I'm gonna buy some stuff. I feel like obligated to do it. It's like I'm gonna at least try it out.
yeah.
But
Got to help the mom and pop shops.
yeah. All right. So anything else exciting happen or anything else we got to talk about right now? I'm trying to think
Man,
what we've done.
I think I've covered a lot, right? So I said last time I was going to get out the paddleboard, and I sure have, and I've been enjoying it. And
I
like I
got
said, there's probably a pretty good chance I'll keep rocking with it. I do prefer to fish off of a kayak. I want to be very clear, but sometimes if you're just going for a short trip, paddleboard's kind of fun and it's very easy. Throw and go. It's like literally like picking up air, literally. So
Do you have to put a like a fin or rudder on it?
yeah, I've got my paddleboard is very large, probably more than I need. And it has like 2 little fins, and then it has 1 big fin.
Uh
Hmm.
Okay, so I didn't think about that. I just remembered. So I went on a little trip. The first time, well, it's actually the second time. First time I videoed it, taking out the NRS CUDA.
That thing looks so cool.
It's inflatable. It's only 10.5 feet long. It weighs like 28 pounds. And you can throw it all in a bag. It comes with a bag. So I took this, and I've been wanting to make a video on it, and I've had it for like 6 months.
Dude,
They
I
actually
want
stopped.
one
They
of those.
discontinued it. They're making
Oh,
something else, but I'm probably going to end up selling it because I don't see myself using it a ton.
yeah.
But I want to use it once or twice more. So I took it out without the fin. It was miserable.
Oh, yeah.
But I took it because I was going up this. I was gonna a kayak. There's like 3 miles of a creek, but halfway in that trip, there's a little creek that runs in. And this is
Hmm.
something I want to ask you about. So I had waded part of that little creek like 3 miles upstream at a bridge, but I've never been able to get down to where it runs into this bigger creek. So I took the CUDA, I talked about it, and yeah, without the fin on there, it
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 doesn't
doesn't
track.
stop.
Yeah.
It'll drive you mad. Um, but I got to the creek, and the creek's real small. I had to drag it up like
Hmm.
a lot, and it's so easy dragging it up stuff
Yes.
because it's just like it just glides over everything. But so there's like it's a pretty good sized creek. It's got good flow to it. It's got grass, got gravel. I didn't catch a single bass out of it, but as soon
Hmm.
as I got to the mouth of that other creek, I hooked like a 16-incher that popped off.
Hmm.
I went a half a mile up that creek, and I bet I caught 8 bass in a little half-mile section, maybe
Hmm.
more, and some sunfish. Like there was so many bass in that little section of that other creek, but I didn't catch anything. Even when I left and went down the rest of the creek, that bigger creek, nothing. I'm like, I don't understand that. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. There's so many bass. I caught like a 16-incher, a 14-inch, like some 12s, and they were fat. And they were like, it'd be like sometimes like back-to-back casts catching them. Like there was a lot in that little section. I was like, why? What keeps them there? And why is there so many fish? They're all fat. They're obviously eating something. But
has there been like rain and stuff?
No, it'd been pretty calm. It was like I've been waiting for the water to calm down actually to do that.
Dude, I can't. I have no idea. These like creek and river fish, it's like I feel like you have so much experience with moving water, right? But for me, I've had so many trips where it's like you can have a huge stretch of whether it's creek or river and it's just not productive. And then all of a sudden you're in a stretch and it's super productive. And I never fully understand what's going on, but it has to be just some form of aquatic life exists in that area that doesn't in the other. And I don't, there's some kind of bottom contour thing or some kind of the way the water flows into that area, it brings in light. I have no idea.
Yeah.
That is interesting though. It's always frustrating.
It was so weird. Like I had in my mind, that was kind of the idea. I'm like, I know there's a lot of bass that live in that creek. So I'm like, that was kind of the whole goal was to get there. But it was so, and I know other people that fish other sections of that other creek, the bigger creek. It was like that creek's dead, but that little creek is just like, it's like one of the, it's like you're like in a paradise like of a little bass fishery. Like so many little bass in there and sunfish and kind of rock bass in there. But that was but anyhow, so the NRS Cuda is a 10.5-foot inflatable kayak. It's got a little seat on it. It sits kind of low.
Yeah.
It's got little foot pegs.
Oh, nice.
So you can throw it's got 3 chambers, got a middle and 2 outsides. And it comes with a pump. And you can pump the thing up in 10 minutes or less. Dude. So it's actually really nice, and it's a good. If somebody's looking for something, like somebody commented, it was an older woman. She's like, I can get that out and move it around, and it's so much easier. And it's super stable. Yeah. Like I took first time I used it. We floated a river with my nephews. I didn't make a video, but like I could climb up on that thing without it even tipping over out of the water.
Yeah.
So
dude,
it's cool.
I definitely think the inflatables. It's something that. There's definite pros and cons, and there's certain things that the inflatable is just never going to be able to do just because it's just full of air. But to that point, there's a lot of people out there that either don't have access to storage, don't have access to a truck or a car that has a roof rack, maybe they've had injuries in their past, maybe they have some form of disability that they can't. The inflatable stuff makes it a lot more accessible to get on the water for people. And I think that's really cool. So there's always going to be a place for that kind of thing, in my opinion. For me, the paddleboard, it's never as fun as fishing in a kayak, but it's fun in a different way. Like just being able to like put your feet in the water. If you want to swim later in the day, you can jump off of it. Like it's just very recreational. So I find myself using the paddleboard in the heat of summer. Over the last 3 years, every single time it's like July, August, I'm on my paddleboard a lot. And it's not because I think it's a better fishing, platform. It's just because it's easy, it's accessible, and it's quite fun. So
convenient. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what keeps you, fun is the main thing. And I have 4 kayaks and an inflatable and everyone's fun for something different. That's why I like having different ones.
Yeah.
And I'm actually, I'm tempted. There's one on sale from Facebook Marketplace right now. So I sold one. I think I sold it after we talked. I sold my Old Town Minn Kota 106. Minn Kota 106. And I have the money sitting over there. It's in cash. And there's a kayak for sale right now that's an hour away that I really want to try. And I know a lot of people were like, you just contact the dealer. Like I could probably get a deal on buying a new one or, discount. But also it's sometimes if I buy it outright, I can do whatever I want with it. I have no obligations. I can talk, not that I'm going to talk bad about it, whatever. But I can say whatever I want about it. I can do whatever I want to do to it. And I don't have to like fulfill some kind of thing. What'd you say?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what my future watercraft plans are. I just don't know. At this time, it's like just one day at a time. The lack of fishing time is something I'm trying to solve for. And I think as I'm trying to solve for less time on the water, I need to make sure that what I have is going to give me the options that I need. And for me, it's like the paddleboard gives me that, but
Yeah.
it's not what I want necessarily most of the time. So I don't know. I don't know what the perfect kayak is for me in the future, but it's something I'll figure out over time. And that's why, I love that you experiment all the time. You've got so much experience with different types of kayak. And it's kind of, sometimes people ask me like, oh, with the ultralight rod reviews and stuff like that, I think sometimes people think that I'm doing it because I just won 100 rods. It's like, no, I'm doing it so I can kind of help people get the right setup, but for you, you've tested a million kayaks and it's awesome. Now, as I continue to like, if I want to try something else, I can give you a call or I can watch your videos and I can just be like, hey, oh, that one actually might be really good for me now that I've seen John fish with it. So yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize I'd ever turn into this, but my goal is now to try as many different kayaks as I can for my own self, and
Yeah.
because that's the world I live in, and that's what I really like. It'd be like if a guy with a different boats, or what's the nitro compared to the I don't know anything else. Something
Dude, that'd
else.
be an expensive game.
Yeah,
Why, if you can get your YouTube to the level where you can just buy a different bass boat every year.
that's
Let's
next year
get
we'll be doing
John to
that.
50 million subscribers so he can afford a new bass boat
Yeah,
every 3 months.
but so far I've been able to. Here recently, I've been able to like buy and sell kayaks just with the same money, and so it's like I don't have any problem selling one. I just buy one, sell one, and then I've been getting into more with motors, so that makes a difference. But have
Yeah,
you seen that kayak that came out recently? That's called the Flux Jet.
I have no idea what that
Dude, you
is.
got to check this out. It might be the kayak you need. So
Okay.
if
Flux
anybody
jet?
hasn't seen it, this is the kayak of the future. You heard it here first. Just kidding.
Okay, I'm looking at it.
So it's think of a regular, simple 12-foot kayak.
Huh.
Everything looks normal, except underneath it is a electric jet engine.
Whoa.
Jet propulsion up to 55 pound thrust that can go over 6 miles an hour
Dude,
with
that thing
a
looks pretty sweet.
adaptable battery. You can put a 12, 24, or 36-volt battery, and it automatically regulates it
Oh, I see.
for under
Dude, you know what?
$3,000.
This makes a lot of sense. So it's almost like, in a way, it's like you're kind of taking like a Sea-Doo, right? Like, you're like putting an internal, but
Yeah,
now granted, much slower, right?
right.
You're not going to be ripping down the lake, but that's kind of sweet. I'm not going to lie. That's kind of sweet, but I would be nervous about like damaging it for like typical, like shallower kayak use,
Yeah.
but I
Well,
mean,
the
it's all
thing is, like,
internal.
I think, well, I mean, obviously, there's people are going to be. I was looking through the comments when on a post that and all these people were like hating on it. I'm like, dude, like, chill. Y'all haven't even used it. Nobody's even used it
Why
yet.
would you
Like,
hate on it? Like,
I don't know. People like to hate.
everybody loves a motor on their kayak these days.
Yeah.
So what difference? I would be very
Supposedly, like, it
curious why
can
people are hating
unclog
on it.
itself with grass. It can do all kinds of stuff,
You don't
but
need a
it's
plunger.
flat, so there's nothing sticking down. So on any other motor, you have to have something sticking down. So this is flat on the bottom. So think about like just if you're just like on a river, there's shoals and stuff. You can like just roll
Dude,
over them. No big deal.
crazy. Yeah, dude. That I like what I see. Now,
Yeah.
granted, it's not. I don't like the heavier kayaks that much, but if it was something where it was built in like that, and all you got to do is throw the battery in there,
It's not. Yeah.
ah,
It's only like it wasn't that much heavier than say your Old Town, and then you got to
dang,
throw a
dude,
battery on it. And
that's pretty sweet.
it
Hey,
is,
I
it
tell you
is
what, this. Welcome back to the Whatever's Biting podcast, brought to you by FluxJet. FluxJet. If you're looking for a kayak that has propulsion built in, and all you have to do is put a battery in it, hey, FluxJet, how does that sound? Does that sound
yeah.
pretty good? Two of
That's
those
pretty good.
things, and we are ready to rock and roll.
We'll send that. We'll cut that. Send it to them. Tell them we're reaching thousands of people over
Hey,
here.
yeah, hey, if you are a follower of this podcast and you've been listening to all 18 episodes and you
Mm.
like it and you enjoy it, screen grab that or film that on your phone and DM it to FluxJet and say, you really do need to partner with these guys. And if we get enough people that do that, someone will be annoyed enough to give us a couple of kayaks. All right, that's enough. Sorry.
Yeah, my buddy was at ICAST talking to him. I was like, dude, get me one. Supposedly they're not even gonna have them out for a while, but I don't know. That was one of those things that just like was so different. I've been waiting for something like that, and they said it's been like 10 years in the making. But anyhow,
wow,
enough rambling about talking about kayaks and stuff. Last thing before we leave here, we're at our time. It's hot. Give me some advice for going out right now at this time of the year and just catching some fish.
This time of year, yesterday, interesting example of it. And I can't say that I lit them up yesterday. It was tough. It was hot. I only had the paddleboard. I didn't have a lot of gear. I wasn't probably, I just wasn't fully geared up. Wasn't fully prepared. I didn't eat anything before. Mentally, I was out of it. Either way, eat some food first and foremost, because you're going to sweat. You need calories in you. After a rain, get up shallow. Fish move up. I would say this time of year, we've actually been getting on and off rain here in Michigan, and it's hot and it's humid and it sucks. But post rain, it feels like it really activates the fish. They start moving up shallower. They start looking for insects and stuff that got flushed into the water. So it activates the bluegill. It activates the bass. Yesterday, even though I wasn't lighting them up, I saw a bunch of bluegill swimming around in the shallows. Like I'm talking like 6 to 8 inches of water. And you know what I saw behind them? Some gigantor bass. Did I catch them? No, I did not. However, I like to think that had I been a little bit better prepared, maybe I could have caught some of those fish a little bit better. So I think that timing is certainly a help. I think going out in the early morning and the late evening, but also even if it's post rain, I think that's another thing to consider. That's my random one that was kind of high on the mind, I suppose.
For my creek recommendation, this is the time throw aggressive topwater. In current, in the fast water, like up in the headwaters where the water's pouring in. That's where they're super active and like aggressive. But like they can be so aggressive, they're like not hitting slow lures or small lures. Like this is the time where I feel like I throw like a little bigger, a little louder noise, and they just come unglued. I had a spot where it happened. It was like 2 weeks ago. I about passed out. Like actually at the end of the trip, I had to like lay down for like 20 minutes before walking back to my truck because I walked like 3 miles to the creek. But there was like almost a little like a waterfall, and I caught 3 bass in a row on a head and spinning image, just plopping it through there. And then there was like more down deeper in there. But all the calm slack water, I got nothing out of that. They were up in the current, all of them up in the current. So
they like that. You think that it's just cooler and more oxygen and stuff. And I mean,
even the creeks are starting to warm up. Like they're gotten pretty warm where they, usually stay pretty cool. But a lot of them are stable. So yeah, I think that's just where they're going to be. The hotter, especially the hotter the creek, the hotter the water in the creek is, the more up under. Like they just want to be in current. I don't know exactly how that works.
So I wonder if they just feed aggressively all the time because they're spending so many calories trying to live in that water. But if they were to live in the slack stuff, it would just be so doggone hot that they'd die. So like they can't live in 100-degree water, so
or the oxygen is not as good. Like you said, I'm sure it has something to do with that. And I feel like that has something to do with why that creek that I caught those bass in, that why they were all up in that creek and not the other at one. It has to do something with the water temperature or oxygenation. Maybe it comes out of the ground sooner, so it's got more oxygen in it or something like that. I'm not sure, but
interesting.
But but this is like here recently. This is like from a month ago to about a month from now is like the best creek, like top water, like small creeks that you can wade or fish. Top water time, they will come unglued. And then they kind of start to taper off of that after, as soon as it starts cooling down. But maybe a little bit into fall. But that's for small creeks. I'm talking small stuff that you can kind of walk through.
Yeah,
but that's my tips. So don't be afraid to throw straight into that fast current, whatever you're throwing. But
well, make sure to stay tuned. Next episode, we're going to break down our trips. We're going to talk all about what we get into, and hopefully between the two of us, we've got some nice stories to tell. But I trust I'm going to catch 1 million rock bass personally.
My goal, I've never caught a 5-pound smallmouth, and the Susquehanna River has got them in there. got a bunch of big ones. So I'm really bringing big lures, spinner baits, chatter baits, big swim baits, and the bluegrass bug.
Thank you.
We'll recap it next month. Stay tuned. You've been watching the Whatever's Biting. You've been watching or listening to the Whatever's Biting podcast. Hope you can get out there and catch whatever's biting.